My name is Joe Vaz, and I'm an actor. I've been working in the film and television and stage arena for just under 30 years. And I started out probably at the age of about 6 or 7. My parents were huge MGM musical fans, so I grew up with Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and Doris Day and all of those guys watching musicals and stuff. And my mom got me into some drama classes when I was about 7 or 8. Children's drama classes, like a bunch of kids pretending to be trees and stuff. From there, I just fell in love with it and I carried on going. I went through a couple other schools, Performing Arts Workshop, which was a South African attempt at creating a fame school, like the movie Fame by Alan Parker. That was set up by Jeff Corey and Adele Blank and Sandra Rosenberg, and that was 2-3 times a week, and you had subjects, and you had to major in 2 art forms and minor in 2 others. So I had to do music, I had to do singing, musical instrument, dancing, and acting. So I was on stage by the time I was 11. I wasn't getting paid for it, but I was on stage, and it was kind of fun. I finally ended up studying drama at Pretoria Technikon when I finished high school. And from there, don't tell anyone, but I gate crashed my first audition because a friend of mine had told us that there was a casting for Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And a friend of mine and I, we just showed up and we snuck in and we did the audition, and we then got crapped out from a dizzy height by the director and then hired. So it kind of worked out. That was 94. And from there, I did about 7 or 8 years of musical theater before sliding into film, mainly for self-preservation reasons, because theater doesn't pay, though it's a great place to start. Since then, I've been working in film, and that's probably where you've never seen me before. How do you get into this business? You don't have to do it from birth. I feel, in terms of the film industry, there's a lot of film schools, there are a lot of acting for film courses, but I do feel that starting in theater is the best place to begin. It gives you a fully rounded idea of what it is to perform with other people in a group. You're also flying by the seat of your pants because you have an audience, and there's nothing like a healthy dose of fear to keep you going and to keep your brain ticking over. What I also appreciated about starting in theater is the mutual respect that you get for all the crew that works with you. Because in theater, you can feel in real time how each individual crew member, whether it's the makeup, whether it's the lighting, whether it's the backstage crew, props, costume, stage hands, how every single person is involved in creating the final product, the performance. If any one of those people, if any person in any department fails or screws up, you're the one that looks like an idiot on stage. And so you learn very quickly that everyone's important and you're not the special little superstar because you're the person treading the boards. And I've taken that respect with me into film. Working in film is probably not what you think it is. A lot of people think film is red carpets and lots of glamour and private trailers and lots of money. It isn't. Any and every perk that you get in the film industry is there because the entire crew expects you to be a 2-year-old child. And so, yes, they'll get you a cup of coffee when you ask for one, but not because you're special, but because they don't want you to leave the set. They'll put you in a trailer because they want to know where you are when they need you. All of those perks are part of the industry, but they're also there to make sure that you are where you need to be when the crew needs you to be. I came to film arse backwards, having worked in theater for 10 years before I decided to try and direct my own short film. So I wrote a script and I directed and I put it together. And it was only after doing that and actually being on set with actors, reading my lines, playing characters that I'd written and watching them in that beautiful little rectangle that I kind of thought, oh, I really like this. I really like to be on the other side of this. And I kind of, though not through choice, I kind of gave up theatre and moved into the arena of film. But I do find it very, very useful in any profession, but specifically in the arts profession, that you know what comes before the work that you do and what comes after the work that you do. So if you're an actor, it's a very good idea to understand writing, script writing, casting process, directing, which is all what comes before your work, and then to understand what comes after your work, which is the editing. The editing is very important. The editor pretty much decides what you look like on screen. If you deliver a joke that falls flat when you record it, the editor can fix that. And if for some reason you piss the editor off, the editor can also do it in reverse. So again, I come back to the point, respect. Not just for self-preservation reasons, though that is a very good reason, but respect, mutual respect, and kindness will get you very, very far in this industry, and it'll get you a lot further than just raw talent. You can be the best actor in the world. If you're an asshole to work with, no one's going to hire you. But if you're nice, if you're on time, know your lines. This is one of the weirdest things. So many crew members come up to me and thank me for knowing my lines. This is bizarre. I would assume that, when you arrive on set, you should know your lines already. If you don't, then you are really slacking off. Know your lines. Yes, sir. No, sir. 3 bags full, sir. Do what you're told within reason. And do it with a smile. And people will hire you again and again and again because you're fun to work with. You're nice to work with. So when you work in film, the process starts with an agent calling you, giving you a brief, giving you some sides. Sides are the script pages that you need to learn for the audition. You go in, you do the audition. If you get the part, now the fun starts. Your phone starts to ring off the hook for the next couple of weeks with second ADs calling you, costume department calling you, makeup department calling you to make sure that you're available to come in for makeup tests, costume fittings, and so on and so forth. Hopefully, you'll have a script by this point. Read it through once, at least once, before you start meeting with directors or other departments, just so you know what you're talking about when people talk to you, and you have an idea of who your character is. I find, for me personally, a lot of my character development comes from the costume and the makeup. On stage, it's different because you've got weeks and weeks to rehearse, so you kind of build your character organically. But for film, what the character looks like and how they walk and how they interact with the world is very much, for me, dependent on what the character looks like. What kind of shoes does he have? Does he wear baggy clothes? Does he wear tight clothes? Is his hair neat? Is his hair a mess? All of those things help me create a character and have an idea of what the character is. Obviously, reading the script helps. At some point, you'll do a table read. This is probably the first time you'll meet the director, unless you met them at a callback for the audition. One of the greatest pieces of advice I got from a drama coach 20 years ago was when you work on film, the director's job is to direct traffic. Don't expect them to direct you, especially if you're a bit player or a day player, you've got a small role, even if it's 2 days on a shoot, there's a very good chance that the directors, they're not going to be rude to you, they just have other things to do. So prepping what you're going to do is very important. But over-prepping is also can be problematic because things change. They change on the fly, and you don't want to be too set in your way when you walk onto that set. So learn your lines as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Get your character in your head, but try not to set anything in stone because things will change. If you have a bigger role, if you're in the top 10 cast for the movie, then yes, the director will work with you. Sometimes they'll work with you privately, they'll do rehearsals with you. Other times you just get 5-10 minutes before you shoot a scene to rehearse in a group with the other cast members. That's usually counted as a camera rehearsal, but my advice is use it as a rehearsal. Anything that you think you want to try in the scene, do it in the rehearsal. If somebody doesn't want you to do it, they will tell you. And then you shoot the scene. A normal day on a film set usually means waking up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, driving out to the middle of nowhere. If you're lucky, you have a trailer. The bigger the part, the bigger the trailer, but the less you'll see it. Because the bigger the part, the more you'll be on set. The smaller the part, the smaller the trailer, the more you'll live in it. But that's how it works. In terms of what to do to break into this industry, study. You don't have to go to a film school. You don't have to go to a drama school if you can't afford it, or a theater school. If you're young, if you're below the age of, if you're still a high school student or a primary school student, try and find drama classes in your school. If your school doesn't have them, try and find youth classes that are in your neighborhood perhaps, or a neighborhood next door. There are a lot of small places that teach kids everything from, playing guitar to drama. If you're older than that, if you're past high school age and you can't afford drama school, join AmDram, Amateur Dramatic Society. They can be a little tedious, but it gives you an opportunity to work. It gives you an opportunity to work with other people and to perform in front of an audience. It may not be the most exciting thing in the world, but it's experience. And in this business, the more you do, the better you get with anything. The more you play the piano, the better you get. The more you do karate, the better you get. The more you act, the better you get. And the more you act in front of an audience, the better you get. Once you've done your drama training, then go to film school. But just do like 3 months there. You don't need much. All you need to learn is on stage. Thanks for listening.